Today I'm going to talk to you about our Global Citizen Project. And the topic we chose was earthquakes. What is an earthquake? An earthquake is known as a quake, tremor, or trembler. It is a violent shaking of the ground from the movement within the Earth's crust, when two blocks of the Earth suddenly slip past one another. Earthquakes can range from very little damage or major damage. A quake can be so weak that it can't be felt to a quake that is violent enough to toss people around and destroy a whole city. And as you can see from our picture, it shows a fault plane, the epicenter, and the focus. So you can see here would be a point where an earthquake started to form on this fault plane, and it goes up from there. How earthquakes are recorded. They're recorded by an instrument called seismographs. And you can see we have an image of right here. You have a spring, the weight, and the pen. And the pen writes on like a piece of paper, which is a rotating drum. And the smaller, I believe this is correct, the smaller the earthquake, it's just very, very small lines. And the larger it goes, like extensive. They are measured by the movement magnitude scale. It is based off the total movement release of the earthquake. And here's a video we have found that shows the danger of earthquakes. Earthquakes are very serious. We have to take them serious. And then the latest earthquake was in Guatemala, October 12th. So this was just like a month ago. Magnitude was 5.7. So I would say that's a pretty extensive earthquake. It's not the lowest, but I'm sure these people definitely felt this earthquake. And you can view this map of the earthquake impact. The impact of the earthquake on Haiti was major. Several people died and several were injured. The quake was felt across the country. So this was a very extensive impact of an earthquake. I mean, if you felt it throughout your whole country, that's got to be major. The center of the earthquake was 11 miles, and that was about 7.2 miles deep. Most of the damage from the earthquake is in the northwest region. Sometimes earthquakes can cause two tsunamis, and this occurred in Indonesia October 2nd. Integrated technology, we found a really cool way you could integrate this technology in your classroom. There is a virtual reality of an earthquake. It's an earthquake simulator. So you go throughout the thing and the app, and you would go and you start packing up your emergency equipment, such as there's a flashlight, I think a medical kit, and several other things. And you put all these together. Well, then it talks you through what you need to do throughout an earthquake. And this would be a really great experience to do with your students in your classroom. That way they can see how dangerous these can be. And then they would also know what they need to do and how to prepare for an earthquake if there was one to ever occur. And it's simple. You can download this app. And I also found a video for older students because it is semi-graphic. It's no blood or anything like that. But you can see extensive damage from earthquakes, buildings collapse, and images like that. And it's a 360, so they can walk through and view this town. NC Standards explain the environment impact where people live, urban, rural, and weather transportation. This talks about how earthquakes do impact where we can live. You know, if in our city, if we have an earthquake hit, it's going to, if it's a higher magnitude, it will knock down buildings and cause other complications throughout your community. Another one we found is explain why rules are needed in homeschools and communities. This is a great scenario. Kids need to understand some rules when it comes to earthquakes. That way they can be prepared and understand when they have an earthquake, what they need to do and what rules they need to follow. You have to have rules in place for certain catastrophes and have procedures. So we felt that that was a really good standard that could really incorporate into this earthquake slide. And then our other one is to explain how and why neighborhoods and communities change over time. Neighborhoods change over time due to environmental impacts such as earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis. You know, some of these can impact where it could destroy a whole entire neighborhood, and you do change. You'll change your structures, or you'll abandon towns. I mean, there are so many changes that can happen due to hurricane or any kind of environmental impact, such as hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis. There are many. And then our other one was how supply and demand affects the choices families and communities make. Supply and demand, if you have an environmental impact such as a hurricane, earthquake, a fire, a tsunami, any of these, your supply and demand, you're going to have less supplies and you're going to have a higher demand. For instance, you could have a road that has been cracked in half and you need a transfer truck to bring you your supplies. You're not going to be able to get your supplies due to the road being cracked in half. So you're going to have a higher demand and lower supplies. So your supply and demand really affects choices family and communities have to make during catastrophes such as this. And that is all. Thank you for viewing our project, and we will have a link connected to feedback if you could. Thank you.